There's something about the season spring, pouring showers of rain, washing away any remains of winter as it waters life back into blooming flowers and trees. The air is sweet and the temperature leaves one feeling comfortable enough to not layer themselves with coats. It used to be my favorite time of year. I loved the smell of fresh cut grass, the sight of daffodils, and the warm sunlight melting away my seasonal depression. It meant I could walk outside barefoot and put on my favorite sundresses that would hang loosely enough so that cool air would swish against my skin. Spring also meant sports. It meant practice, diligence, strength. In spring, I was my happiest. It was as if the intense rain showers had also washed away my worries and sadness and watered whatever life I had left back into me. I felt free and strong when spring came. Now, though, it feels as though even spring showers cannot even replenish my spirit. The sight of daffodils is just a sad reminder. The sweet air smells sickly. You see, my life changed drastically last spring. I had just finished a semester, and it was the most beautiful day. The skies reflected a light baby blue, and white puffy clouds provided passing shade. The breeze gave me thrills of happiness as I stepped out of my last final and felt free, as no schoolwork stood between me and the summer. I was wearing my favorite sundress, and although the fabric was light, a thin layer of sweat covered my skin. I wanted to dance my way back to my room, twirl in my sundress, and feel the warmth of the sun. I wanted to celebrate, to pop open a bottle of champagne. So that is what I did. Nothing was stopping me. I sat in my packed up room reminiscing on a school year of new experiences. I shouldn't have looked at my phone in that moment. I should have continued to reflect. But I remember picking up my device to see a text from a friend of mine. A friend I had met my first semester of college and had stayed acquainted with as we helped each other with homework and projects in certain classes. He had asked me how my last final had went and insisted that he celebrate with me on my success. Oh, naive me, I did not see a problem with it. He arrived with a bottle of vodka, which smelt quite the contrary of the sweet spring air. This should have been the first sign. I had only had 2 glasses of champagne when he offered me a shot and then another. I didn't refuse. We were talking happily, casually, about the past year, about the things that we would miss and the things we wouldn't. I felt at ease, happy. I'm not sure when exactly it happened, but the warm glow seemed to fade, and my words no longer fell out of my mouth as I talked about the plans I had made for the upcoming summer. I was no longer conscious. I woke up paralyzed with fear. It was dark, and I immediately knew that everything was wrong. I was vulnerable. No longer did I feel like myself. My sundress was gone, my undergarments strewn across the room. I felt sick. My skin, which once felt the warm glow of the spring sun, now had permanent traces of cold fingers. Tears streamed down my face, but I couldn't move or open my mouth. My chest hurt, and all I wanted to do was scream, but nothing seemed to leave my lips. It continued, and with each passing second, I became even further and further away from ever recovering my past self. When he left and all stopped, I laid there. I cried, sobbed, and shook. I mourned, though. I lost myself that day. My freedom, whatever appreciation and respect I had for myself, was gone. A year has passed, and flowers have begun to bloom vibrant colors. I cannot say I will ever be the same person I was a year ago. I lost the biggest part of myself that day. However, I no longer blame myself. I can't go back and undo anything. Some days I forget that it ever happened. Most days, though, I remember. I find it difficult to persevere. I try, though. It was as if that day the garden that was my life was soiled, ruined. It felt impossible to ever rebuild the life I had created, the garden I had planted. Slowly, I have begun to plant new flowers, and my tears have watered them. I watched them grow and told myself things will be okay. Things will be all right. I think they might be. You see, my best friend told me the other day, "You've already lived through your worst days, only better to come." I hope she is right. I hope that I continue to rebuild my garden despite everything, because the new flowers, they don't look that bad, and they seem to promise sweet smells of happiness and maybe peace.